Hi guys, welcome to this speed build video in The Sims 4. My name is Irene and today I am building Lotus, a luxury hotel, spa and restaurant in the shape of a lotus flower. I've been doing a lot of futuristic builds lately in the shape of different things and I love doing them. For example, I did the flame, that futuristic beach house in the shape of a flame, and I came with an idea in my mind that I wanted to do a build in the shape of a flower as well. And I thought with using these different roofs, as you can see right here, I already placed them in, I could make the futuristic shape of a lotus flower. But before we get into this video more and I explain you guys more about it, of course, I wanted to thank you all so much from the bottom of my happy heart for the positive response and feedback on my previous video, Orb, that spherical house. I am so grateful. I reached 10k subscribers yesterday. I cannot believe it. So thank you guys so much for it. You don't know how much it means to me and I just really wanted to say that and thank you guys in this way. But let's go back into this video. Like I said, it's going quite fast according to the entire shape of this house, that lotus flower shape that I wanted to make here. I got a request to do a community lot, so that's why I'm doing this community lot here today. Like I said, it's a hotel, spa, restaurant, but unfortunately we don't have an hotel option in the game. So I made a couple of rooms where you can sleep in. But when you download this lot and put it in your game, it meets the requirements for a spa and for a restaurant. So of course I used a couple of packs for this build. Spa day pack, obviously, dine out, of course, and a couple of different packs. But I promise you guys, there are some base game builds in the making. A cool collab is coming, I think, in a couple of weeks, and I'm working on these base game builds as well. But for this community lot, I just wanted to let myself run free with all the different packs, and especially because I wanted to do this spa, because a lotus flower shaped building just screams for using it as a spa, of course. I started this build on a different lot. Maybe you've noticed it already, but I switched from Sulani to Get Together. I liked a lot. I started building this on way better, especially the environment surrounding the lot, but I just didn't have enough space. I used an ocean a lot in Sulani, the world that came with Island Living, and oh man, that game pack, that expansion pack, it was a little bit lacking according to gameplay, but when you're a pure builder, it was a gorgeous world with some great build and buy items, and the world came with some very cool ocean lots as well. But unfortunately, the biggest one is a 50 by 50, and I needed a lotus flower in at least the shape that I just did right here, in the size that I just made right here, because I needed space for saunas and for showers and for a restaurant and for different rooms. So I couldn't make it smaller, and I had the thing in my mind, and I'm working on that right now, that I wanted to make a lot of leaves and flowers and things all around the total lotus flower in the middle, so I had to use a bigger lot. So I switched to this 64 by 64 lots on the island in Windenburg, the world that came with Get Together. I tried this build in the world that came with Jungle Adventure, El Salvadorada, I think it's called as well. There's a 64 by 64 lot too. But the lighting wasn't that good there, and I wanted to use a lot with a lot of light because I wanted to make the lotus flower white and bright and make it pop off the screen, and of course I had to use a lot of light for it. So that's why I used this one, and I really had a way more space here. Of course, the previous lot where I was building on, that ocean lot, I already had the water underneath the entire build. And here I had to place water underneath it, and I used a pool for it. That's why I didn't place just a room on the ground and made a pool underneath it, because when you do that you cannot place a pool underneath a room. So the entire thing that you can see right here, it's basically all on a second level, and I deleted the bottom level of the entire build and then I lowered the entire thing down just above the pool, and then you can build a pool underneath decks and everything that you wanted to build. Otherwise you have to build a room inside the pool and it doesn't look that good, so that's why I did it in this way. As you can see, I made the entire lotus flower here with a couple of roofs. I combined them all together, and the very easy thing here was when I placed one roof in, I could basically copy it and in that way make it very symmetrical. I'm experiencing lately that I'm finding it very satisfying to build builds that are kind of symmetrical, so it was very satisfying for me to do this one too. Maybe it sounds a little bit strange or a bit cheesy, but that whole symmetrical aspect of builds, I find it very pleasing, so I was very happy that I could use that method with just copying all the different roofs. Of course the roofs that are in a different angle, I had to make them, but I could copy them as well. Then I made all the leaves all around this build. I thought about a lotus flower in the water with a lot of leaves all around it, and of course I used a lot of round decks for it. And I removed very small chips from the edges of all these decks to make the whole look of these flowers a little bit more, the leaves a little bit more. I said flowers because I see a lot of flowers in the water right now. Of course, I had to use this gorgeous item to make the whole lotus flower leaf thing a little bit more obvious. It's a debug item. It's not a normal plant, all the leaves and all the flowers that you can see here. But it's a debug item that just came with the base game. I used it in my base game Cliff House as well, and I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I don't know why they didn't incorporate it just in the normal build and buy menu, because when you go to the build menu and you go to the fountain section, you have some different leaves that you can place in water, and I think this debug item is definitely the most pretty one. I got some questions during my previous builds about how to enter these debug items. I talked about it before, but I wanted to address it again. But from now on, after this video, I will put it in the description box down below, all the cheats that I used. But for now, if you want to enter these debug items, if you want to use them, there are a whole array of extra items, more than 1,000, and I use them so much in every single build of mine. In this build, I'm only using these flowers and some rocks on the bottom of the pool to make it look a little bit more natural. But especially in my cliff builds or in my mountain builds, I use them so much. All these rocks and all the flowers and all the trees and everything that I used. And you can especially find a lot of items there that you can see in the world surrounding the lots where you can build on. So the double cheat you want to use, of course you have to unlock the cheat box first. Use Ctrl-Shift-C for it. Then you want to type in bb.show hidden objects, and after that bb.show live edit objects. So 2 different cheats, not just in one sentence, but 2 different cheats. And then you want to type debug in your search bar and just above the catalog. And when you click enter, you get a whole array of these debug items. And the small lily flowers were a debug item as well. We're on to the interior. I'm sorry already. And here is the reception desk. Of course, I wanted to use a lot of white and bright furniture in the interior. I thought it fitted the best with the look on the exterior as well. Because all these rooms are inside the roofs, I could only decorate this with all the walls down. But I promise you there will be a lot of paintings and artworks and things going on the walls as well. But when I'm building it with all the walls down, sometimes you cannot see them. We're onto the showers here, and I used some fountains, some of these wall waterfalls. They basically are, I think they came with Spade, and I combined them with the amazing showers that it came with the Discover University pack. I was so happy with these showers. I think from the entire Discovery University pack, I'm using these showers the most. They're just freestanding showers, and especially when you want to make custom showers, they're very easy to use. The orbs that you can see on the terrace, they are fountains too. They came with the Spade pack too. And I'm already finished with that, but I still wanted to tell you guys a little bit about all the pathways that I made with between all the different leaves to make this build functional. Of course, I wanted to, like I said, make it functional so your Sims can reach every single building and every single room here. So I had to make these pathways. But I didn't want to make them too obvious. I didn't want to make them stand out, so I used a lot of these glass floor tiles and I sized them down to make them just 1 square wide. They came with the Island Living pack, and when you size them down and just place them on one of these pathways, you still have the bigger size, so it's not that pleasing, it doesn't fit that well. But when you select the item again and then you place it again, it adjusts the size to that 1 square wide glass floor tile. And it was the first time that I used it, and I was actually very happy with it. And I think when you watch the build just from afar, these pathways aren't that obvious, and that was my goal here, of course. I used a lot of these glowing walls and glowing floor tiles that came with Spade as well. I did it especially because I wanted to make this build look gorgeous in the night as well. It's very, very magical. I think I made a screenshot from this build in the night, so I think you can see it at the very end of this video while I'm showing you guys all the screenshots, of course. But that's why I used a lot of these glowing walls and these glowing flowers. Here's the small restaurant. Of course, I had to use these items, these requirements for a restaurant in the game. So a chef station and a host station and another station, and I don't really like the look of it. I wish they were a little bit more sleek and modern and white, but it is what it is. I'm only using just the game and no custom content or CC, so I had to use them to make this functional as a restaurant as well. Of course, it's a bit of a smaller restaurant, but if you want to use this a lot and sleep here, stay here for a longer time, it was a nice thing that you can eat over here too. But we're on to the final room already. I cut a little bit in the footage because I thought it was a bit repetitive if you saw me do 2 bedrooms and 2 saunas, so I cut a little bit in the footage. But this is the final room, so we're on the end. I really hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. I try to do a lot of different things to keep you guys inspired for your own builds. I enjoy to discover different building techniques in the game, and I love sharing them with you guys. So if you enjoy that, please subscribe. It would make me very happy. I would really appreciate that. I hope I could distract you a little bit from the strange times in the world right now. I hope you will have a good day today, and I hope to talk to you next Monday with my new video. Goodbye!